Hello everyone, I hope you're keeping well. I'm just linking in here on the video to recap on some information that will be out in the public domain now in regard to Sunday, when we hope to reopen the two church buildings for public worship. So this is just a recap video really. A few things to bear in mind as we open the buildings, and the format is similar in both places, in Dungiven at 10 o'clock and in Boveva at 11:30. Please do not attend the services if you are displaying any symptoms of COVID-19 or where you might be considered vulnerable, have underlying health issues, or have been otherwise recommended to self-isolate under the government advice. Everyone who comes to worship should approach the door of the church and take direction from the stewards or the wardens on duty. And we are actively discouraging no congregating in the porch, please. I know there's always that temptation to stand and have a wee chat and whatever, but we really can't do that for the foreseeable future at least. We need to keep the system moving. Social distancing, as we're all accustomed to and going out and about at the moment, is at 2 metres, and some pews will be sealed off to facilitate that, to make sure everybody's kept within the 2 metre distance from each other. Where you are not in the same household, those in the same household will be able to sit in the same pew together, but not those from a different household. So the wearing of face masks has always caused some consternation and head scratching. During the service, the line is that the bishops formally recommend and encourage the use of face masks during worship, unless you are exempt for medical reasons. Now, obviously, we can all have our own preferences. Nobody wants to wear face masks, but we do need to bear in mind that it's not just about our own considerations, but thinking of others as well, who may feel more comfortable and at ease if we are wearing a mask, even though we might not necessarily choose to use one. So that is something for you to reflect on. Now, as you go in, your name and contact details will be noted, just for the contact tracing purposes. Hand sanitizer stations will be available in the porch area, and you should make that your first port of call when you come in, to make sure your hands are sanitized before you actually go straight on into the church. Free will offering envelopes and so on can be received as you come in or as you leave the church. There will be no plates passed around during the service. We will be filling the church from the front to the back, and this is important because we cannot choose where we sit. We do have to go to the next available pew as directed. We can't sort of make a beeline for the traditional pew where we always sat. It may be that you hit on that very fortunately by your timing, or time yourself in future weeks to get there at a certain point, but we can't be facilitating that on this occasion. Initially, our services will be 40 minutes, and we will try to work on that as we go on through the weeks, as we get more confident in our manoeuvres and in our attendance at church. Although worship songs and hymns will be used, and there'll probably only be 2 at the most in the service, sometimes it'll just be music for reflection, but singing is not currently permitted, unless of course you're wearing a mask, and in which case you could probably sing behind that, but no singing please at the moment. All service details, everything you need for the service, will be displayed on screen, so there'll be no need to have books or service sheets or anything like that in the church. It'll all be on the screen, and that's all you'll need. We will leave the church from the back to the front, so if you were first in, you'll be last out. And again, that is directed by the stewards and the wardens. Please don't just get up and wander off. Please take direction so we can maintain the 2 metre distances for everybody as we leave. Congregating outside the church also is actively discouraged, so please be aware that we do need to keep the traffic moving and keep everybody safe, so please bear that in mind. When the church service has ended, I or whoever's leading the service will exit via the vestry door and make our way around the side of the church building to the main door, where we will greet, or where I will greet, whoever's leading will greet those that are at the service, and I will keep my 2 metre distance from you. Just don't want to send you off into the sunset without having said goodbye to each one of you individually, because I haven't seen each other for quite a number of weeks. So please do bear that in mind. Those are the current requirements for the return to worship. As things ease, as they get more relaxed, we will implement those as soon as possible. Now, in regard to Baveva, if there will be an outdoor speaker system installed, all being well, this week, and if you want to come and have a sort of drive-through experience and just sit in your car and listen to what's going on inside the building, then you're quite able to do that as well. So yeah, it's a kind of halfway house, I suppose, between going into the church building and being present for worship at the church site. So again, that's available to you. There'll also be seating available in the main hall in Baveva, and the church service relay there, should we need that for extra spaces. Now, a couple of other things in regard to those that maybe don't feel that they want to come back at the moment to church in either of those formats. We will hopefully be providing something from a CD, telephone, Facebook, YouTube, to sort of make up for you not being able to get to church. So hopefully that'll be okay. But give us a couple of weeks till we work out the best way to deal with that and what need is required. Now, also a couple of little notices about what's coming up, all being well, in the next few weeks. Sunday the 25th of October I've designated as our harvest for this year. Now, this will not be on the scale that we normally see our harvests. There'll be no catering done, any of that sort of thing. There'll be morning services, 10 o'clock, 11:30 in each of the churches' harvest services. Reverend Roger Thompson from Church Mission Society is preparing for us a virtual sermon which we can hear at each of those services for harvest. Now, a harvest project which I feel we need to take on board this year is to work with the LCDI, Limavady Community Development Initiative Food Bank. They have taken on the food bank from the Salvation Army, and we would like to support that this year if we could by providing small food parcels, or even cleaning materials I now gather are being accepted as well. So if you want to bring a little box of non-perishable food, tins, jars, boxes of things, whatever you can muster, then that would be great. And there are times for doing that. Saturday the 24th of October from 10 to 11 in Dungiven Church, and Saturday 24th of October 11:30 to 12:30 in Baveva Church. Those are the times when these little parcels can be received. And they'll be there for the Sunday morning in the churches, and then they'll be taken to LCDI Food Bank certainly by the middle of the following week. A reminder about our shoebox project this year. It's still going ahead, and if you want more details about that and when the collection is happening for it, please do let me know, or speak to Judith or Angie, and they can keep you right. So that's probably enough information to begin on with. The main thing is to get ourselves back into the church buildings this week in a safe way, and a way that everybody knows how it's operating. So hopefully it'll work out. It might take a week or two for us to get our feet and find how we're doing things, but hopefully with God's help we'll be able to do that safely and well. And it won't be the experience that we knew back in March before we went into lockdown, but it's not the case anywhere, is it, really? The world has changed, and for now at least we've got to live with the realities that we've got. Okay, thank you very much for listening.